Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to get into a great little story. It's a fable about a little goat and a big bad wolf. Now, it seems simple, right? But trust me, it's packed with a really smart lesson about thinking your way out of a tight spot. Plus, we're going to learn some really cool new words together. So here's how our story is going to unfold. We'll start with a little mistake, which, whoops, leads to a pretty scary situation. But then things get really interesting. There's a surprise request that changes everything, and it all ends with an unexpected rescue and a big lesson for everybody. All right, let's jump right in. This whole adventure kicks off with what seems like a tiny mistake, but believe me, it's a mistake that's about to have some pretty massive consequences. So first, let's meet our main character. Now in English, a baby goat is called a kid. And this little guy, well, he's at that age where he thinks he knows it all, you know? He thinks he's all grown up and ready to handle anything.
And this is a really big part of his personality. He doesn't see himself as a little kid anymore. In his mind, he's basically an adult. And what's one of the first things you do when you feel that way? You stop listening to your parents.
And here it is. This is the moment it all goes sideways. The sun's setting, the rest of the goats are heading home, and his mom calls out to him. But does he listen? Nope. He completely ignores her. There's a perfect phrase for this. He paid no heed.
So what does that actually mean, to pay no heed? It's just a slightly more formal way of saying you totally ignore something. It's like his mom's voice was just some noise in the background. He was paying absolutely no attention.
So why was he ignoring his mom's warning? Well, for this. He was just so caught up in eating this really sweet, delicious grass. He was just having too good of a time to stop.
And there's a great word for the way he was eating, nibbling. You can almost picture it, can't you? It's like how a rabbit or a mouse eats, with lots of tiny, quick little bites. He was just nibbling away, not a care in the world.
And just like that, the good time is over. The sun starts to disappear, and that's when it hits him. That's when he realizes what a huge mistake he's just made.
Can you imagine that feeling? He finally takes a break from eating, looks up, and there's no one there. The whole flock, his mom, his family, everyone is gone. He is completely, totally alone.
And right away, the world around him just changes. The nice, friendly field suddenly becomes a super scary place. The shadows get long and look like monsters, and the wind starts making these spooky noises in the grass. You can just feel him starting to get scared.
And then he sees him coming out from a small group of trees. It's his absolute worst nightmare. The wolf. The one animal his mom always warned him about.
Okay, so this looks like the end of the story, right? Game over for the little kid. But this is where things get really, really clever. Instead of just giving up, he comes up with a plan. And it is a very strange plan.
So, he knows he's in deep trouble. He can't outrun a wolf. He definitely can't fight him. He's totally terrified, and his whole body starts to shake.
And that shaking, we have a word for it in English, trembling. It's that thing your body does automatically when you're either really, really cold or really, really scared. So you can just picture him there, his little legs trembling as the wolf walks toward him.
So what does he do? Does he cry? Does he beg for his life? Nope. He does something nobody would expect. He basically says, okay, you're going to eat me, I get it. But before you do, can you please play a song for me? I feel like dancing one last time.
And you know the wildest part of this whole thing? The wolf says yes. I mean, maybe he thinks it's funny, or maybe he's just so confident, he figures, hey, why not have a little music before my meal? So he pulls out his pipe and starts playing.
And that music, well, that music is the key to everything. The kid probably just wanted one last happy moment, but what he actually did was set off a chain reaction that nobody, especially not the wolf, could have ever predicted.
See, in the quiet evening, sound travels really far. And that happy little tune the wolf was playing, it traveled all the way to the ears of the one thing in the world a wolf is scared of, the shepherd's dogs. Here's another fantastic English expression for you, pricked up their ears. If you've ever seen a dog hear a strange noise, you know exactly what this looks like. Their ears shoot straight up. It means they immediately stop what they're doing and start listening very, very closely. So you can see exactly how this genius plan worked, right? Step 1, the wolf starts playing his music. Step 2, the dogs hear it and know something's up. And step 3, they come running back to see what's going on. The kid's crazy idea actually worked. And now it's the wolf's turn to realize his big mistake. As he's running away from the dogs, he's thinking, man, what was I doing? His job, his trade, is being a hunter, a butcher. He got sidetracked trying to be a musician, a piper, and it cost him everything.
So, at the end of the day, this simple little story gives us two really big lessons. For the kid, we learned that sometimes being clever is way more important than being big and strong. And for the wolf, well, his lesson is to stick to what you're good at and don't get distracted.
And that leaves us with one final thought. The kid only survived because he did something totally weird and unexpected. It really makes you wonder, right? In your own life, when is it a good idea to think outside the box and try something completely different to solve a problem? Thanks so much for joining me to explore this story.